Namaste, cool cats. Welcome to your Monday Flow with me and Ray. So today we are going to be doing a flow for creativity. So that might mean that today you possibly have your device set up alongside your mat instead of in front of it. I'm going to face this way the whole way. So whatever makes you feel like you get your left and your right feeling good. So today I'm going to show you a few of my really favourite transitions that kind of move from one pose to its immediate counterpose, which always feels really delicious. And a couple of things that I don't often do in class because it has sort of an element of complication, but we have the ability here for you to pause or go back if you're not sure. So a couple of the transitions will be slightly more creative. So overall it's going to be fairly steady, nothing too pushy or dynamic. As you know, I like to keep it like that kind of on a Monday these days, but something that's going to connect us to our breath, get us feeling elongated, and some deep options as well. So whenever you're ready, coming down to your backs to start off with, and we're going to find our way to slightly wide feet, knees up, all the way down to your back. So your feet might actually be on the edges of the mat as your hands rest on your ribs. You might take just a little kind of squirm around across the tailbone, just rocking the knees, rocking the hips. Just so you're kind of getting into your body, noticing if that puts a bit of ease in your breath. And then when you're ready, just feeling where your feet are comfortable, we're going to let the knees move in on each other, creating like a little steeple between the knees. So feet are slightly wider than the hips, knees are together. I just want you to feel the weight that this gives the lower back, breathing deeply just for a couple of really nice full loops of breath. And I want you to feel, no matter what has come before today, that we're really kind of grateful for these deep breaths, like they're kind of a drink that your body needs, and we're quenching that thirst. Each breath in, drawn deeper, and more fully released. And then as we breathe in, start to feel a little energy coming into the body. Sighing the breath out possibly a little bit more theatrically. Start to spread your arms open in line with your shoulders, wriggle the fingers awake, and then we're just going to let both knees rock over to your left. We're going to inhale here, just feel that little stretch across your right hip, down your right thigh, almost a twist in the torso, and then we're going to start to lift your left heel. So if you're not sure, come up and have a look. Otherwise, we're just lifting that left heel and popping it on top of your right thigh. So you should feel this little bit of an extra drawing of your right quad away from the right hip. And try not to force that, allowing just a bit more space. 2 breaths. And when you're ready, I'd like you to feel like that left foot is kind of stuck to that right thigh, so that as we try to lift your right knee, they come up together to thread the needle. This time the left heel is really strong and flexed as we bring your right thigh towards you, squeezing your lower back into the ground. Hands can come back to the ribs here. And then if you feel you want a little more space, we're going to lift the chest and the head and feed the hands behind that right thigh to interlace. Squeezing back to the mat with 3 or 4 of your deepest breaths. This time maybe in and out through the nose, mouth closed. I want you to feel that you can relax your head and your chest. So if you can't make that hand connection and be able to feel that relaxation, just bring the hands back apart to the ribs. Exhaling. So we're just going to lightly take your right thigh with both hands. Start to rock a little bit forwards and back, and then exhale, rock up to sitting. Giving yourself a full breath. Let's take hold of that left leg, left shin. Just give yourself a little squeeze. Breathing in and breathing out. Inhaling, start to turn that left foot so it's facing directly away from you. We're going to try and find the alignment, ankle, knee, hip. So we're going to lift a little bit into that hamstring. You might feel that without too much movement. But if there's room for you to keep rising through your spine and elongating that leg, you can take a bit more of that hamstring stretch. You can always move your hands down towards your calf if you want to stretch that leg out. We'll take 3 deep breaths. Breathing in and breathing out. Let's relax that one down. Take both knees towards you and just rock all the way to your shoulders and back up. Breathe out to the shoulders and back up. One more time and back up. And as we exhale, this time we're going to lengthen down vertebrae by vertebrae. Get my words right today. Again, let's spread the arms out wide and let your feet find roughly the same distance apart as we did before, maybe on the edges of the mat. Take a couple of swings of the knees, just gently, and then letting both knees come down on your right side this time. Noticing that little drawing of your piriformis and hip muscle, quad muscle through the left. Easygoing breath. One more of your fullest breaths. And then we're thinking of your right ankle. You're going to flex that right ankle, lift it up and on top of your left thigh. And just noticing how much weight to allow into that stretch. So you don't have to push. We can just find a bit of extra space through that quad. Couple of deep breaths. Imagining that exhale helping us sort of dissolve anything held in there. Breathing in. Full breath out. Now we're imagining that right foot slightly stuck to your left knee as we bring the left knee upwards towards the sky. So moving in to thread the needle with a strong flex in your right ankle to protect that ankle. We're going to lift your left thigh towards you and your hands might be on the ribs here. Come up with me, lifting chest and head if you wish, and take hands behind that left thigh. But just for a couple of breaths, just deciding whether we can kind of relax and align the spine on the ground with that connection. And if that's not on the menu today, just take the hands back to the ribs. So let's think about squeezing that lower back into the mat, really drawing your shoulders back as well. So we're in a kind of grounded mode here. 3 deep breaths. When you're ready, we're going to gently take our hands to that left thigh. Take a very gentle rock forwards and back, and just see if you can get a little bit of momentum to rock yourself up. As you stretch out that left leg, we're just going to catch hold of your right shin. Just give yourself a little extra bit of space. Keep lifting into your lower back so you find a little bit more rise. And then we're going to take your right foot facing away from you. So we're going to try and catch that foot with both hands. Find the alignment that feels right for you, and then find a bit of extra space in your hamstring and your back. And this is actually going to stretch the arms a little bit as well, as we kind of resist with the hands and press out through the foot. You can keep a little bend in there or take your hands to the calf. Breathing in, breathing out. One last breath in. As we exhale here, we're going to start to step your right foot across your left thigh, taking your left fingertips away and behind you. Noticing how you feel in the wrist today. We're either just going to lift your right arm, or we're going to come to the outer edge of your extended leg and press into your right foot, opening up your whole right side. So then we're taking almost a side plank through your left arm. Give yourself another deep breath, find some length, and keep breathing. Gently coming back the way we came. We're just going to change over, stretch out that right leg, take the left foot over the top. And again, we're just going to take your right fingertips facing away behind you. Option one, if your wrists are feeling a little tender today, maybe we'll just take a lift of your left arm, stretching into the ribs. If there's room for more and you wish, we'll take the outer edge of your extended leg, press off that left foot, coming off the hips. As we exhale, we're going to start to bring your hands down behind you on the mat and just start to walk your hands around to that left side of the mat, stepping your feet wide. So we end up here in your prasarita, wide feet, allowing your chest to come down in the center. Knees can always be a little bit bent. Don't feel you have to lock those knees at all. We're going to drop the head a little heavier. Find a bit more length in the back as you breathe in, and a bit more softness in the face as you breathe out. Breathing in, let's start to walk towards the front of your mat with both hands. Coming back to your child's pose, so both shins come down, stretch your back, your bum's coming towards the heels as those fingertips are stretching the other way. Breathing in, let's come and sit on your shins, lifting your chest. So we're ending up at the back of the mat, sitting on the shins. I told you it was going to be a little bit on the creative side, so don't worry if you need to pause and catch up at any point. So we're going to just take your left fingertips softly outside your left hip. Just breathe in through your right side, lifting your right arm up and overhead. And then just push off and take the same position on the other side. So your right fingertips are going to find the floor outside your right hip, and we're going to stretch to the left side. And then come through center, exhaling. We're going to take the hands to interlace, push the palms forwards, really stretch those fingers. And we'll keep that connection going as you lift onto your shins. Feeling the front of your body opening, maybe for the first time today. Give yourself another full breath. And then as we exhale on the next breath, we're going to take the hands apart and then behind us, either taking your hands to the elbows or hands to interlace, whichever feels right for you today. Let's lift up the chest and rise the eyes ever so slightly, so we're not throwing the head back. As we exhale, let's send bum to heels and fold forwards, chest towards the ground. You can release the hands whenever you're ready to do so. tabletop. We're going to walk the hands all the way forwards, come down to your belly. Hands under your shoulders, we're going to lift the chest, elbows squeeze in either side of your ribs. Then lift the hips back over tucked toes. So this time the hips are a little bit higher than the chest as you stretch back. Inhaling, we're coming through tabletop and down to your belly as you breathe out. Hands shift under the shoulders, elbow tips squeeze in either side of you to breathe and lift your chest, hips, and then bum back to the heels. So as we take a couple more, you might really round your spine through tabletop, tucking chin to chest, and then down. Cobra, arching the chest, and then back. One more time. As you come back over the heels this time, just send your forehead gently down between the arms and lift your wrists. So your fingertips are now like two little teepees in front of you. So you get a bit more space in the back of the chest to breathe into for two more. Release the hands when you're ready. We're going to find down dog, so we might spread out the hands, press the ground away, lift that tailbone, lift the knees, and really try to rise those hip bones on top of the legs. And we can pedal that free, just groove around into the hips, make sure the head is nice and soft, like a pendant at the end of the spine, just dangling free. Another deep breath here. We're going to inhale, send your right leg off the ground into the air. Start lifting the left hip, bending your left knee into a gentle hip open. It doesn't have to be a big movement, keeping the arms strong. 2 breaths. Exhaling, align the hips, step your right foot forwards and between the hands. We can help that along if you like. Take a moment to just let your face soften. And then inhaling, we're going to bring the arms up. High lunge. So hips and chest are square to the front of the mat. It's a feeling of being in quite a low center of gravity and trying to keep the breath smooth. Let's ball up the fists, pull the elbows apart, go super wide and really try to bring space back into your shoulders, out to your sides and then up. Just 2 more. As you reach the fingertips up, we're now just going to fly them down and bring your weight forward. So you're kind of hopping the weight out of your back foot to take a brief little balance on warrior 3. And almost considering that just like a passing pose, start to lift your chest. I'm going to move into tree. So your left knee is going to come towards you, inhaling. And the option to open that up, catch the left ankle to press inside your right thigh, lifting the fingertips, and we'll take 3 deep breaths. So we're actually going to come back the way we just came, so bring your knee just gently back to align with your hip in the front of the chest. Exhale, step back to your high lunge. Bring your arms up, breathing in. Get on top of your breath with both palms and sort of coffee plunger the hands down as you breathe out. Let's move into your plank position. We can go knees, belly, chest, or a full vinyasa here, whatever you prefer. Inhaling, lifting the chest as you land. Tucking the chin towards the chest, breathing out all the way back to that lifted tail in down dog. 2 or 3 deep breaths as you arrive, and if you need to at any point, just take yourself down to your child's pose. Breathe in to take the left leg off the ground into the air. Lifting the left hip slightly, we can bend your floating knee. So you're kind of rotating out your floating thigh, but keeping strong arms, trying not to swerve in the arms or shoulders. Breathing in, breathing out. Let's align the hips and that leg back. Inhale, we're going to slip your left foot through in between the hands. Let your face release some pressure. Breathe out. And then as you inhale, we're coming up. High lunge. So we've got those equal hips, equal shoulders. We're trying to smooth out the breath and think about the core supporting us. We're going to ball up the fist and just sort of draw an accordion apart with your elbows, wrists, fingers. Take up some space. Breathe in through the fingertips and up. We'll go a couple more. Rinsing out those shoulders. As we breathe in and up, we're just going to float your hands down either side of you. Take your weight forwards and get your back foot to feel a little lighter. Launching off into a one leg balance, warrior three. So we're thinking of this as almost a passing movement. Don't worry if there's a bit of wobblage. Gonna lift the chest. Inhale, bring the right knee towards your chest. Give that a little squeeze. And then there's an option to add in tree. Taking your right hand to right ankle will open the knee out to your right side. Foot to thigh. Go wide fingertips today like tree branches. Take a bit of soft, broad space. Lifting through your center. Planting down your roots through the left foot. Breathing in. And breathing out. Let's start to release. We're going to come back the way we came. Step your right foot back. High lunge. Inhale, rise the arms. Get on your top of the breath with both palms and cavity air. Plunge that breath down, exhaling. Let's find our way gently to the ground. Knees, belly, chest, or all the way down. So we'll take one hand on top of the other in front of your third eye. So we've got the elbow tips wide and creating a little double pile cushion. This is going to keep us level so that we can just rock your hips free here. And give yourself a couple of deep breaths, just shaking out. And then if you're not sure where I'm going here, you may actually come up, maybe to your cat's pose, and just watch what I'm doing. We've done this one in class a few times before, if you've been with me there. So we're going to send your left arm out wide, palm facing down, so in line with your shoulder. We're going to turn your head the other way, turn your head to the right, and take your right hand underneath your right elbow. And here all we're going to do is peel the right side of the mat, right side of your body off the mat. So you want to feel a bit of an extension into your pectoral muscle, your chest muscle, through that left arm. Option here, if you want to take it, we're going to float the right leg, bend the right knee, and just tap the ground behind you with the toe or foot. So if you're not sure, come up and look, and you don't have to go too far into this pose to feel that. Exhaling, we're going to just switch to the other side. So we're going to roll through center. Extend the right arm under the couch. Palm facing down. This time your left hand is flat to the ground under your left elbow. We're going to peel the left side of the body off the mat. So you should feel a little extension in your chest muscle on the right. And then if you wish, you can add in a lifted and then bent left leg, tapping the ground or the sofa behind you. But mostly we want to be in touch with that chest muscle, so there's no need to go too far. Breathing in, breathing out. exhale, come back to center. Inhale, hands under the shoulders. I want you to find your way up through the chest and back on child's pose. All the way back to the heels, and maybe the hands come together and your prayer position comes behind the head, so we get a bit of an extension into the back of the chest. Release the hands away. Inhale, just come and sit on your shins for a moment. We'll just take a little stretch on the backs of the wrists. Wrists. So fingertips face each other, we find a little stretch. And then like a content cat, we're just going to roll a little bit through the fingers. Okay. So again, you may just stay here while I show you this next one, my favourite one of the week. We're coming all the way down. And so the movement we just did is going to kind of prepare us for this, but this time the hands stay under the shoulders. So we're going to do the very same movement through the chest and that right leg. We're going to lift the right side of the body off the ground, lift the right knee, but this time push off the ground. Find your way up to face the back of your mat. Left heel flexes towards the ceiling. So you'll end up in this position, Makaya. Your right knee might be out to the side, but if that doesn't feel comfortable, just take your right knee up. Stretch towards the left foot. And you can just drape your hands either side of that left leg. And if you enjoyed that transition, you might do it one more time. So you might be coming from here. Inhaling, coming to face the front of your mat, rolling your belly down, releasing, and then just doing that one more time. We lift the chest, lift the right side, and we find either the knee up or tucked underneath us in Makaya Pada. Breathing in, coming up. Let's find our way down. We're going to do the other side. So we're going to find our way, hands under the shoulders to lift the chest. This time we just lift the left leg slightly and find your way up to face the back of the mat. Hands can just drape and frame the right leg. Breathing in, coming up. Let's do that one more time. Coming down to your mat in front of you. Hopefully you haven't got as many bits of furniture around as me. And then we'll do that one more time. Lift the chest, lift the left leg. Find your way to face your right hamstring stretch. So your left knee is slightly tucked and the foot is out to the side, or up like this if that doesn't suit your knee. Breathing in, let's come all the way back to your mat. And you might take your child's pose here, hands under the shoulders, lifting you all the way to stretch your back. When you're ready, breathe in, come back to your tabletop. We're going to change the feet underneath us. Find our way into the middle of the mat. Lift into your lower back, lengthen your crown, and exhale, roll all the way down to your semi-supine. Picking up your arms and legs, let's just stretch each one. Rotate every joint. Breathing in, breathing out. Rotating the ankles, wriggling the toes, wriggling the fingers. And then exhaling, let's slide out to Shavasana just for a few breaths together. So let your breath take over, soften the face. of our bodies on the ground. Breathing to find a little extra space in ourselves. Allowing and reminding the jaw to be soft and the heart to be open. Let's take just one last deep breath. Start wriggling the fingers and toes. Gathering the knees up towards you, let's give ourselves a little squeeze. Roll both knees over to your left and find your way gently, gently into cross legs or whatever seated pose suits you today. Palms together. A little bit of friction. Let's imagine that's something that we want to encourage in ourselves today. Maybe peace or presence. And then breathe out and just let your palms feed that positive message to yourself. Position towards the chest. Namaste. Thank you for joining me for Monday Flow. I hope you are having or are about to have a peaceful day. Ciao for now. Enjoy the bright weather.